What's up, guys? I'm Benny the First, and don't worry about what's going on with my hair. It's not important to you, you disgusting little pig. Just kidding. But if I wasn't, that'd make me an asshole. Let me look at some Am I the Asshole posts on Reddit and determine if these original posters are assholes or if they're just overthinking it. I have 3 posts right here, and let's just go ahead and get right through them. This first one is, Am I the Asshole for leaving my D&D 5e group rant? I've been playing with the group since relatively soon after the release of 5th edition, and I'm heavily burnt out on it. To have fueled a fire... I think I'm having a stroke, hang on. To have fueled a fire, our DM not only prohibits non-Wizards of the Coast supplements, despite complaining about the recent releases. He has limited the books we can use to exclude pretty much everything but the core books and Xanathars. He only reads from the book and does not adjust the encounters, and this has made things extremely fucking boring. And tonight, while I'm sick, they ended up mutilating and killing my character. Not only that, we do get charged per session, and I'm just done with it. The only reason I haven't left is because it's hard finding another games in my area. Okay, first of all, what? I have a few questions. So your DM prohibits fun, essentially. Non-Wizards of the Coast supplements, but doesn't want you to go outside of Wizards of the Coast. Like he's a walking contradiction. From what I'm seeing is that he is a by-the-books DM. He doesn't want to use his brain, he doesn't want to use his creativity, which, you know, not everyone is super creative and can come up with encounters when they don't have the sheets in front of them, the stats in front of them. That's fine. That is a totally fine thing to do. You don't, you know, not everyone can just come up with stuff off the top of their head or, you know, just homebrew stuff. That is totally fine. But to completely limit your character or your player's creativity is a whole nother thing. Like making it to where they have to use something from the books. In a way, I can kind of understand it because, like, if you as a DM are playing by the books and only want to play by the books, you kind of, in order for it to be balanced, you need your players to stick with the books as well. But I mean, that's one way to run it. That's not really the way that I prefer to have a table be run, but I get that there are people out there that do like that. However, the part that I have a problem with is the fact that when you missed a session, they fucking murked your character. That's fucked up. You shouldn't kill another player's character just because they missed a session. I feel like that should have gone without saying. That I feel like the DM just has something against you at that point, and at that point maybe it's a good thing you just cut your losses and left. But they're and getting charged per session, I hope you didn't get charged for the session they destroyed your character. But honestly, like, I don't know, I feel like you're better off without them. It seems like you've been playing with them. It says you've been playing with them since the release of 5th edition, which was a while ago. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, yeah, it just feels like this wasn't the group for you anymore. It just feels like you kind of grew out of this group, and the DM clearly didn't help matters. On to the next one. All right, this next one is a little long. Am I the asshole? Player annoys everyone at a public D&D group and I tell them to leave. Player: hello. Most of the time, I don't have really bad D&D experiences. When I'm a player, I wait my turn patiently and try my best to not overshadow others. As the DM, before every session, I ask my players if there are any issues or problems they want solved. And if a problem shows up in the middle of the session, I pause everything in order to see if the problem can be solved. However, there was something that happened a while ago that I want to get off my chest. Every Tuesday, I go to my public library where there is a D&D game night, where basically anybody who wanted to join was allowed. This day, there were only 3 people who showed up, not including myself. One of them is an introvert who I invite to my home games. The second was an energetic young man who's just happy to be here. And the third one is the reason I'm writing this story. Let's be real, that energetic young man, he's a real one. He's a ride or die, I bet you. I bet anything. During the session, everything he said was basically screaming. Not most of the time, literally every word out of his mouth was a shout. Also, he kept making jokes that were actively making the other players and the DM uncomfortable, jokes about self-harm and bodily functions, even after we asked him politely to stop. He also invaded not only my personal space by trying to erase my character's name on the sheet, which was Corn Oakenfoot, by trying to replace it with Carrot Oakenhoot. Hilarious. Plus, while not the biggest deal, whenever we asked him a relatively basic question or referenced an incredibly popular IP a la Marvel or Nickelodeon, he pretended like he had an IQ of room temperature in Celsius and just said what? Over and over and over and over and over and over again. When he was playing, he was trying to kill everybody in-game, important distinction, no matter if there were important NPCs or even other players. Near the end of the session, I just couldn't take it anymore. All right. Near the end of the session, I just couldn't take it anymore, and I said the following words. I'm done. You're actively antagonizing not only me, but also the DM. If you want to act like a horrible person in a game, go play Grand Theft Auto or Fortnite. This is D&D, the cooperative role-playing game, and if you can't do that, you shouldn't be here. He responded with his iconic catchphrase of, "What?" And I responded with, "I asked you in formal terms to get the fuck out." He then left for 10 minutes, then came back and was a mopey mess, trying to make it seem like he was the victim in this situation. Thankfully, the next session he did come back, but we came up with a new way for him to have fun. The DM allowed him to play as a powerful commander in the army that was attacking the city we were in. He was entertained by this and wasn't being a social tyrant anymore. I understand this isn't the craziest story on here. One of the stories I read on here was about a goblin breeding. Hey, yo, what? But I wanted to not only get this off my chest, but also wanted to know if I handled it the way I should have. First of all, let's go ahead and give this person a round of applause. I mean, first, okay, it seems like he was warned at least once. Most of the time, yeah, even after we politely asked him to stop, yeah, he was warned. So therefore, he had his warning, and the fact that you even put up with even more BS from him is admirable. Because I honestly would have done the same thing. We need to normalize at least having one person in the D&D group that isn't afraid to just step in and just put the problem player in their place. Whether that's the DM or another player, I feel like if there's a problem player, it needs to be handled as quickly as possible. So I like your wording here. If you want to act like a horrible person, go play Grand Theft Auto or Fortnite. That is amazing. Love that. Kudos to you. And then yelling him to get the fuck out. Maybe it wasn't the most formal way to tell someone they're being a dick. Maybe that wasn't the best way to handle the situation. But it seems like it was the only way this person was going to get the message, because 10 minutes later, they came back as a mopey mess. Go fuck yourself, dude. You were ruining the night for everyone else, and someone just stopped your bullshit. Just stop. But it did seem like you guys came up with a solution for him. You know, the next session when he came back, the DM basically gave him the power to be the bad guy, which apparently is all he needed. So it seems like you got it all settled. It seems like everything worked out in the end. But honestly, good job. Good job. I'm proud of you. And moving on. All right, and this is going to be the last one. This is going to be... All right. Am I the asshole for not going to D&D because I am pregnant? 22 female. I have been with my 22 male husband. Let's call him Dave for 5 years. We have a little girl together who I will refer to as Brianna. I am currently pregnant with our next child. I am 10 weeks along, so prime time for nausea and vomiting, and I have been experiencing a lot of it. Every other Wednesday, my husband and I drop off our daughter at a grandparent's house so we can play D&D with our group. Today, I have thrown up 3 times and do not feel any better. Oof. I work at a preschool, so I am lucky to be able to bring my daughter to work. I work Monday through Friday. My husband has Tuesdays and Wednesdays off and works weekends. Even on the days Dave has off, I still take Brianna to work so he can really rest. So first of all, is Brianna, you said you work preschool. Is Brianna, does she go to that same school? Is that why you bring her to work? I mean, I don't imagine that's an important part of the story, but still. If you don't have to take her to work, then make Dave be a fucking father. Anyway, on the weekends, I am still a mom and Dave cannot take Brianna, so breaks are hard to come by. I was sleeping during Brianna's nap today when my husband shook me awake to say we need to leave right now to go to D&D. I immediately had a headache from probably being dehydrated and felt sick, so I told him I think I need to rest and not go this time. Dave was absolutely frustrated and he said, I put my foot down, you are going. Dave, who the fuck do you think you are? Talking to your pregnant wife like this? Homie, the fuck is wrong with you? He said we agreed to do this every other Wednesday, so we are doing it. I told him he could still go without me. Dave continued on to say, well, I'm just going to tell everyone you didn't want to come. I told him that's not true. Dave, why? Dave! I did not want to miss out, but I need to rest and not put my body through more activities right now. Almost like she's fucking pregnant, Dave! The whole group was very kind and understanding, saying, we will protect Orok, my character, and get better, which was nice and actually made me tear up a little because it made me feel cared about. Aw, that's so sweet. Soon after I sent that to the chat, Dave said he is leaving Brianna home. I asked, why can you not take her still so that I can actually rest? He said it is a waste of time to take her to grandma's when he can just leave her here with me. Dave, you are such a tiny dick prick. He has been fully aware of how sick I have been these past couple of weeks. So as he has heard me throwing up in the bathroom, so I told him that he is being selfish and is only thinking about himself, which is fucking true. He got extremely flustered and started to get our daughter ready. I told him his frustration towards me and lack of care is making me scared and he should leave our daughter at home. Now, Dave was ignoring me. I started to plead with him to leave her here because in my mind during this thought, if he cannot treat his wife with love and respect, I cannot trust him to do the same with our daughter, which is a very valid response. If he's gonna treat his pregnant wife like that, maybe it might not be the best thought to leave your daughter with him. He talked sweetly to Brianna in spite of his attitude toward me though. On his way out, he was short and harsh in tone when saying bye. He texted me literally 40 minutes ago with an apology, but I am debating on if I really have anything to apologize for too. He really got me wondering, am I the asshole for canceling the plans? No! No, you are pregnant with this dude's second child. And you are going through pregnancy sicknesses. Obviously you did nothing wrong. All you fucking did was say, hey, I don't think I can go to D&D. I don't think I'm physically well enough to go to D&D tonight. And this motherfucker, who apparently only has D&D clinging on to for dear life, apparently D&D is the last string holding him together, lost his damn mind. Like, Jesus Christ, dude. Calm down. There is an update here. First of all, thank you all for your replies. I was not expecting so many people to have an interest in the story, so that was a surprise. I wish I could give you all an exciting, crazy update, but this is actually a simple and good one. Many of you suggested that I up and leave Dave. Okay, real quick, I'm gonna cut in here real quick. It would be insanely crazy to just up and leave her husband for him crashing out like this. Yeah, it was a pretty bad crash out, but We don't know the context of the entirety of their marriage. If this was the only crash out he's had, or if he's only crashed out because of D&D, then they could still be a happily married couple with a child. And if he's crashing out over everything in life, then maybe she should leave him. Kind of hard to do that when you have a child. But I don't know their personal life. So no, she should not leave him just because of this one instance. Anyway, continuing on. Many of you suggested that I up and leave Dave and that I am the asshole for procreating with Dave. The people who are saying that need to get off the internet once in a while. I understand your point of view, as I did not share about Dave in the best of light. This is one of those rare out of normal behavior instances for him. My husband does struggle with selfishness at times, but he is always open to talking about things, so that is what we did. I sat Dave down and told him that his selfishness is making me feel unloved and not cared for, and I am not sure if that is someone who I would like to spend my energy on, or if it is fair to our kids. He did not get mad or defensive when I said this. I brought up our D&D incident, plus others that portrayed selfishness, and he apologized, saying he wants to do better for me and our kids because we deserve better than what he has been giving. He was being genuine with lots of hugs. I told him as long as he works on it and chooses to be more selfless, we have nothing to worry about. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking. It looks like I still have 2 paragraphs left to go through, so unless there's like a plot twist here, it seems like we're about to get the good ending where she brings up she airs her grievances to Dave and everything gets worked out in a nice conversation. I feel like a lot of issues in life would just not be issues if you just talk them over. But let's see how this ends. Let's see if I'm wrong here. The next day he brought me gifts when he got home from work, which was a nice gesture to show he was thinking about me. Since talking about everything, Dave has stepped up a lot, offering to drive Brianna places, and by taking on more things at home. He is genuinely trying. Selfishness is a bad habit, and I'm not saying it is my job to fix anyone's habits, because it is not, but everyone deserves a little grace, and I am happy to help someone who is clearly trying to be better and is willing to fight to change. I had bad habits when we first started to date, and he was there for me and helped me become better, although it was not his job either. And he's becoming a better father, because that's something else that I have a problem with, that he wasn't really doing jack shit with Brianna. Seems like he's doing a better job with that too. Good job, Dave. Dave, my fucking guy. I know a lot of you think leaving is the best option, but I would like to stay because Dave does have a good heart, and this little snippet story of our lives is not a fair representation of who he is as a person. If he does not end up changing, that is a road I'll have to cross later, but for now, my husband is doing what I am needed from him, and as a parent, let's fucking go, Dave. You turned this shit around. I'm so proud of you. Again, a lot of issues would be solved if the people who are in the issues just sat down and talked it over, just like Dave and, did she ever say her name? She is not, but Dave and OP here. So I love that we got the good ending here. I love that Dave is stepping up. I love everything about this story. He even says here that he texted 40 minutes after the fight with an apology. Good on you, Dave. I honestly don't think this should have ever been an issue in the first place, but it looks like you are taking the steps to better yourself. Good fucking job, Dave. That's what we like to see. That is a Zuko-like redemption story. And with that, we're going to go ahead and bring this to an end. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked it, make sure to comment below and like and subscribe. If you guys like enough, we can turn this into a series and we can look at more assholes on Reddit. But until next time, goodbye.